Hello and welcome to English with Jimmy, and today we are going to read the English newspapers headlines. The reason for this is because there's only one subject that dominates all the newspapers' front pages, and each newspaper is dealing with it in a different way. Okay, some of them might be similar and some might be different. So let's start with the Times first, okay? Johnson on the brink of resignation, so on the edge, about to resign, okay? That's the Times. Moving on straight away to the Mail, okay? Here they are not saying something on the brink again, okay? They just have, we'll read these headlines later. I'm just looking for something similar to on the brink. Here you go. The Daily Telegraph are saying Johnson hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread means he's about to fall, which means about to resign. That's similar to on the brink, okay? Now moving on to the Times, Johnson on the brink, again the same, similar to the Times. The Daily Express, they're supporting the Prime Minister, so saying he's just fighting on. The Guardian, Prime Minister on the brink, again they use the same, okay? While Metro is saying clinging on to power. Prime Minister is clinging on to power. To cling on to power is also means that you are afraid to lose it, that you could be forced to resign, okay? So hanging by a thread, clinging on to power, on the brink, okay? These are all similar. The I says it's end game, which means he's got to resign. That is a very strong headline also. The Sun is saying Boris is on the brink, so the same expression of resignation. And then there's also another headline here in the Sun, Last Chance Saloon. Last Chance Saloon means it's the last, last chance, yes, last drink. Okay, so maybe he's about to resign, they're saying, the party's over, he's about to go. So, Last Chance Saloon. The Mirror is saying end game for Boris, the same headline again. The editors, as you can see, some of them stick to on the brink, while others are trying to improvise and find different headlines to describe the same situation. End game, that's for the Mirror, which supports the Labour Party differently against the Prime Minister, who is a Conservative. Here again in the Mirror, okay, Johnson doomed, which means he's going to go. Okay, Last Chance Saloon, end game, doomed, all means that he's got to go. Or means his seal, his fate is sealed. Okay. The Star is the curtains for Mosul. Curtains means that's it. The show is finished. Curtains are coming down, and he is no more acting. Okay. So that's another expression. Okay, for he is going to resign. Very interesting, actually, when you see that the way each editor handles the same subject, okay? We start again, we go back to some interesting analysis and headlines up there. The Mail, can even Boris the greased piglet, okay? Piglet is a baby pig, okay? And wriggle out of this, okay? So this saying, can he get out of it? Wriggle out of it means get out of a tight situation, a difficult situation. Can he get out of it? So describing the Prime Minister as a piglet. Okay, and then we've got three headlines here, which is Prime Minister in crisis after both Sunak and Javid sensationally resigned. So, okay, he is in crisis, that's for sure. Their excruciating letters damn lack of grip and integrity. they say that the ministers who resigned, Sunak and Javid, the resignation letter, they like damning or condemning that he hasn't got a strong grip on running the government, okay, and no integrity, which means no honesty. But he fights back, making Zahawi his bold chancellor. So he, bold chancellor, a chancellor is a finance minister, and bold can mean that he's got no hair, and also can mean that he will adopt strong policies like cutting taxes and so on, okay? So to be bold means to be brave, okay? Not only that you don't have hair, but it means to be brave, okay? The Daily Telegraph is saying Johnson hanging by a thread as Sunak and Javid walk out. Walk out here means, and you can see both of them are just walking out of 10 Downing Street or something like that. Walking out means resigning. That's another word for resigning, to walk out. The Financial Times said Johnson on the brink as ministers quit. So walk out, quit, resign, all the same meaning. The Daily Express supports the Prime Minister, and as you can see here, Prime Minister's battles for survival. Wounded Prime Minister rallies his troops as Sunak and Javid resign. To rally the troops means he's telling the other minister who's still with him in the cabinet to raise their morale and come on, let's work hard, let's hold on and continue. So he's fighting back, okay? He doesn't want to resign. Rallies his troops, his ministers. And liberated Boris promises changes after cabinet coup. A cabinet coup, which means the resignation of two important ministers like the Chancellor, Sunak, and Javid, the health minister. They describe it as a cabinet coup, okay? But he said he's liberated, so he can reduce taxes now. He's simply saying that reducing taxes definitely makes a prime minister popular with the workers, okay, and even business people. When you reduce taxes, people get more money in their pockets to do whatever they is pleased or whatever they want to do with it, okay. New Chancellor is Zahawi, and Barclay is giving health role. So these are the two new ministers in taking place of Sunak and Javid. The summary here straight away, but as you can see, they're using black and white. Okay, a battle for survivor is they got a red background behind the letters, the bold letters in white, which means it's something serious. Okay, Boris battles on, declaring, "I am now free to cut taxes." Cutting taxes definitely will raise his popularity, but I'm afraid there is lots of criticism for his conduct and the crisis that he created or he faced while he was in office. The Guardian is just doing the same. Prime Minister, PM, okay, on the brink after Javid and Sunak quit. Just the same like we've seen before. The Guardian, I think, is taking an opinion that he is going, okay. All the comments and the headlines here, okay, by some political analysts just confirm that straight away. Metro is talking about the resignations of the health minister and the chancellor, and then Prime Minister is still clinging on to power. As we said, holding on to power. Okay, it doesn't like hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread, like I'm clinging on to power. Very, very similar and phrases. The Eye is saying in game, Boris Johnson on the brink. Same. The Sun, as we said, last chance saloon, which means that's it, almost the last, very, very near the end. He could, I don't know, maybe forced to resign, or could be some, members of the Conservative Party convince him to go, but I don't think he will. Finally, okay, after years of backing toxic Prime Minister, Sunak and Javid wield the knife. Wield the knife means to put the knife and twist it in him. by the resignation, which means to say that they don't want to stand by him or they don't want to work for him. So the same expression, clinging on, again in the mirror, clinging on, okay, and resigned, two important ministers resigned, and finally, okay, wield the knife. It means that what they did to him was like to end his political life, wield the knife. Okay, Johnson doomed, which means he's going to resign no matter what he does. Okay, his fate is sealed. Okay, yes, as lies over Pincher sex pest. Oh my God, past exposed. Oh God, exposed. It's a scandal for that gentleman Pincher who like committed some sexual acts while drunk in a pub, something like that. And as a result, I think he will be sacked from the Conservative Party, or he was. Okay, the Daily Star, curtains, okay, as we said, cabinet minister, deserved. Pinocchio means he's a liar. Okay, describing the Prime Minister as Pinocchio, and curtains for Bozo means the show is over, he's got to go. And Rishi, we need decent standards. Okay, that is one thing. He's describing, which means he's saying the Prime Minister doesn't have good standards or respected standards, whatever, and Sajid, the people deserve integrity. Yes, they're both criticizing the Prime Minister severely, actually. Brainius Rap, okay, so they criticize it. It's a very, very funny way of criticizing the Prime Minister, but they're simply criticizing his integrity and his decency. We have a nice summary here, okay, which is, as you can see, it's nice to read all of the Times, the Guardian, and the Financial Times describe Boris Johnson's premiership as on the brink. It's exactly what we said when we saw the front pages, the headlines there. Okay, the Times says the resignation of the Chancellor Rishi Sunak and the Health Secretary Sajid Javid within minutes of each other were apparently coordinated in a move that dealt the Prime Minister potentially fatal blow. The paper adds that after the departures, opponents of Mr. Johnson said they would push for a second confidence vote in the Prime Minister before Parliament summer recess. If he didn't resign, that's before the summer recess, it will be very soon. The Guardian says both Mr. Sunak and Mr. Javid's resignation letters dealt a crushing blow to his authority. Okay, it notes that Mr. Sunak highlighted the differences of opinion over economic management between him and Mr. Johnson, increasing speculation that the former Chancellor has not given up on a run at the premiership. Okay. The Financial Times reports that there was also relief in Downing Street when other cabinet members, including Dominic Raab, Liz Truss, and Ben Wallace, indicated that they were staying. But it adds that many Conservative members of Parliament now, believe Mr. Johnson's time in office is nearing its end. The Daily Telegraph described the Prime Minister's situation as hanging by a thread. As we said, he is a good expression, but says he is scrambling to shore up his cabinet and insists he will carry on as leader. All right. In what it calls swipe at Mr. Sunak, the paper says Mr. Johnson indicated that tax cuts would be easier to deliver now he was no longer the Chancellor. The Telegraph carries denial from Mr. Javid and Mr. Sunak that resignation were coordinated, but says it can also reveal that both men had already discussed resignation with close aides. With their assistants and supporters, secretaries and so on, maybe also people who are working with them. It is the end game for the Prime Minister, according to both the Eye and the Daily Mirror. The I newspaper describes him as reeling. Reeling means very angry, okay, from the shock, resignation, and says that attacks on his integrity are to try to force him out of Downing Street. Reeling is it shows that he's angry, he's shocked, he's okay. And for the Mirror, the Prime Minister is desperately clinging to power, but it seems he's doomed. No matter what he does, he's going to lose. He's going to be he will be forced to resign. The paper quotes an unnamed Tory MP, okay, Conservative Member of Parliament, as saying even his most blinkered allies now is all over. Oh my God. Blinkered means the supporters who support him blindly, and just in anything he says now they think that he should go. Alright, yeah, the Sun believes the Prime Minister is in the last chance saloon, saying he was knifed by his former colleagues on a day from hell. A day from hell, the day of double resignation of the Chancellor and the Health Minister. The most upbeat coverage for the Prime Minister is in the Daily Express, exactly as we said. Daily Express supports the Prime Minister, with the headline, Boris fights on. It says he dismissed a failed coup as a moment of liberation that would allow him to unleash sweeping tax cuts. Okay, fair enough. According to the paper, he declared the government was now free to pursue a true blue Tory agenda, paving the way for victory in the next election, which is saying he can go to the extreme right and cut taxes, and I don't know what else he's going to do. If he's not going to be with the Liberals a little bit and in the middle ground of the Conservative Party, things might not turn out to be for the best. The Daily Mail reports that Mr. Johnson is fighting for his political life on what he calls the most dramatic night at Westminster since the toppling of Margaret Thatcher. Mrs. Thatcher, rest in peace. Okay, it says the Prime Minister was locked in Downing Street last night trying to plot a route to survival, okay, which is natural. Its front page headline asks, can even Boris, the greased piglets, okay, wriggle out of this? Describe the greased piglets. That is a summary of all the newspapers, or the front pages of all the newspapers' opinions about the crisis in Britain, political crisis in Britain today, which is like the main story, and everyone is following and everyone is trying to comment about and discuss and read. I hope you can see now the difference between last chance saloon, on the brink, hanging by a thread, end game, clinging onto power, wriggle out of it, and so on and so on. Wield the knife, all political expressions are very useful actually for you to know. That's it, boys and girls, and I thank you.